Afternoon, guys. So in this video we're going to be calculating the volume and surface area of this rectangular pyramid. So how do we do that? This pyramid has, the base of the pyramid is a rectangle with length 16 centimeters and 14 centimeters, and the height of the triangle is 20 centimeters. So let's start with volume. Number one, volume is equal to a third, remember, the base area, which is length times breadth, the rectangle there, multiplied by the perpendicular height, right? So this is just a third, 14 multiplied by 16, or the other way around, it's the same, multiplied by the 20. So just plug all of this into your calculator and see what you get. So third, 14 multiplied by 16 multiplied by 20, you get 1,493.3 centimeters cubed. So there we go. Volume is just straightforward. It's just a third, the area of the base multiplied by the height. The area of the base is just 14 multiplied by 16. The height, the perpendicular height, is 20. And all you do is you just multiply this all into your calculator and you get 1,493.3 as your volume. So surface area. Surface area, on the other hand, is much harder, because now we need to break up this shape, right? But before we break it up, the one thing that we're gonna be looking for is this slant height thing, and obviously this side as well, right? So we're gonna be looking for that slant height. How do we solve for that slant height? So for a second, right? If you're looking at this object right from the front, so you see 16 there, right? You're looking, the front is this side. So you see the 16 there, the 14 will be on your left and the other 14 will be on your right, right? So right in the middle, we have a line that goes right up to the apex. The apex is this point here. And that line looks like this, and it's 20 centimeters, right? And when I'm looking on my side, I have this slant height coming down, which I call S, right? And the base of what I'm looking at, that triangle, remember I'm in the center, I'm standing right here. I'm looking right into the object. I'm standing right there in front. I'm looking right into the object. So I have my 14 centimeters that side, 14 centimeters there. I have a 16 centimeters right here on the floor, right? So if I'm standing in the middle, then this distance will be half of 16, which is just 8 centimeters. Do you get that? And this whole shape forms a right angle. So I'll start that again. I'm standing here in front. The base of the breadth of that, or whatever you want to call it, the line that I'm standing on is 16 centimeters long. But I'm standing right here in the middle, right? When I look up, I see the top of the pyramid, which is the 20 centimeters. So I move from the center, I look down at the center, and when I look up, I see 20 centimeters, or it's a line that is 20 centimeters long. And then the side of the pyramid, the slant height there, comes down from the side, and that's the S I'm trying to find there. So how do I find that S? I apply Pythagoras. Right? And so s squared is equal to 20 squared plus 8 squared. What is 20 squared and what is 8 squared? 20 squared is 400. 8 squared is 64. So when you add both of them, you get 464. Right? And just for me to get s is equal to, that's squared. The square root of this is 21.5. And this is in centimeters. So I have this s right there, which is 21.5, right? And so later on when I open up my my shape, you'll see where that s goes. Let me just open up my shape here. I have a triangle there. I have a triangle there. I have a triangle there. And I have a triangle there. So the s we just found is this guy right here. It's the slant height of which is 21.5 centimeters. Right? Remember what this is. That's the 16 centimeters there. Right? And then remember what this is. That's the breadth there, which is 14 centimeters. And then now we need to find what this s is. And how do we find that s? We know that when we're standing this side of the pyramid, we're standing that side, we're looking at the pyramid, there's a line that goes up from the center, and we call that the apex line, which is 20 centimeters long. Right? I'm standing right there. So I see this line that comes from the center and goes straight up to the apex. And when I look to the side, there's this line here that goes and hits where I was standing originally. It goes and hits there, and it goes like that, right? And since I'm standing there, this distance there, the distance from there to there is just half of 14, which is 7 centimeters, right? And I'm looking for this s right there. It's a different s. Let me call this s1. This is s2, right? Do the same thing. s2 squared is equal to 20 squared plus 7 squared. This is just 449. You square root that because I'm looking for s2. And so s2 comes out as square root of 449. It's going to be 21.2 centimeters. So do you see how slightly different these s's are? S1 is 21.2, S1 is 21.5, and S2 is 21.2, right? So now let's calculate surface area. My surface area equals to area of the rectangle there, which is length multiplied by breadth, right? Area of this triangle here, if I'm standing here, the triangle there, and the other one right opposite it is the same. So I can just say twice base times height, twice half base times height, plus if I stand here in front, there's a triangle there, and the other one right opposite it is the same. So I say 2 of half of base times height, right? So now let's substitute half of base times height. This 2 is a half. The base of this triangle here in the front looks like that. The base is 14. And this distance here is what I found as 21.2 centimeters. So I have 14 there and 21.2 there, right? Plus 2 half of the triangle here in front. The triangle there in front, if I take it out, let me just put it here. I know it's a little bit untidy, but the distance there at the top is 21.5 centimeters, and the distance down here is 16 centimeters. So I put in 16 there, and I multiply it by my height, which is 21.5. Oh, I forgot to substitute my length and breadth there. My length and breadth is just the 14 and the 16. Right? I hope you guys can see this. So you multiply all of that in your calculator. You can take a minute to pause this, get the values yourself, and then compare with what I got. And so, you're kind of working with me and not making me do all the work. So it's 16 plus 2, 1 over 2. Just substitute all of this in my calculator. Plus 2. So I get 864.8 centimeters square. So that's what I find for my surface area. So let me just highlight one thing. Volume is straightforward. Area of base multiplied by height multiplied by a third. It's always a third, right? It's as straightforward as that. Surface area, on the other hand, you need to start thinking. And for you to solve for the surface area, you need to apply a lot of Pythagoras on your way getting there. And for you to start applying the Pythagoras, you need to start pulling out these right angle triangles. Pull them out. The first right angle triangle, I was standing right here. And so I was looking at the line that goes down to my apex. It goes down this side. And that distance, like I said, is 8 centimeters, right? And this was my S1. So I was looking at this triangle. I hope you see. Do you see that triangle? I'm standing here. I see a right angle triangle. The second triangle, I'm standing right here. And now I'm looking at this base there, this height, which is my S2, right? Let me color that differently with a red maybe. And I'm looking at this triangle there. So I know it's three-dimensional and it's quite hard to see, but I hope you guys can see it and you benefited from this video.